Hi friends, this lesson is lesson number 1 for Module 2. The other day we got out shapes in my classroom and we were playing with them, and I realized this morning when I went in that we forgot to put some of them away. I don't want to lose my shapes. I want to make sure I have all of them for when I do my next lesson, so I want to organize them and make sure I have all of the ones I was missing. I looked at what was on the counter. I saw that we had 9 triangles, 1 square, and 4 trapezoids. I want to quickly count those to see how many I have to make sure I haven't lost any. Well, I'm looking at this problem and it looks like I'm going to do 9 plus 1 plus 4. Oh, that seems like a lot to add together. I wonder if there's a way I could group these shapes so that I don't have to add 3 numbers, because that seems like a lot. I know that when I make a 10, it makes things a little bit easier to add. Do you see a way that I could slide around those shapes to make a 10? I found one. Watch, I'm going to go ahead and find the hidden 10 that I have. So, there you go. If I have those 9 triangles and I added 1 purple square, then that's going to make my group a 10. I'm going to go ahead and write 10 right underneath that. Good group. 10. Oh, yeah. Now, I have a group of 10, and then I just have to look at how many trapezoids I have left. Oops, I had 4 trapezoids. All right, sorry, I went through that kind of quickly. I hit the wrong button. I'm going to go back. Look, I have 4 trapezoids right there. So now I have a new group. Instead of having to add 9 plus 1 plus 4, I have a group of 10 and then a group of 4, and I can just add those together. So let's see what that looks like. I scooted over that square so it can join the group so you can clearly see the 10. And now, instead of having to add 3 numbers, I luckily only have to add 2. 10 plus 4. I can use my strategy of counting on by starting at 10 and counting up the 4. So I would say 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Hey, I only have 14 shapes that I was missing. That's not that bad. All right, let's look and see what we just did. I took a tricky problem of 9 plus 1 plus 4, and I changed it into something that had a hidden 10 or a 10 group in there to help me add up. I changed it into 10 plus 4. That goes right along with our learning goal for today. Our learning goal says I can find a 10 to help add 3 numbers. That's what we're going to practice today. We're going to look for a 10 in a group of 3 numbers that we're adding to simplify and make the problem a little bit easier. Here we go. All right, let's read this problem. Jason had 7 apples. Lucas had 3 apples. Addison had 2 apples. How many apples do the kids have in all? I'm going to read that one more time. It's kind of a big one. Jason had 7 apples. Lucas had 3 apples. Addison had 2 apples. How many apples do the kids have in all? All right, well, I know that a good math detective draws pictures so that they understand what they're doing. And they can show their thinking, but that's a lot of people. Is there something we just learned about, like a text feature we could do to help organize our picture and like show what we're talking about? What's that thing called? Oh, yeah, labels. For this math problem, I'm going to use labels. They're going to be really helpful so I don't get my drawings confused, so I can clearly show my thinking. All right, the first sentence said Jason had 7 apples, so I'm going to want to show that Jason had 7 apples. I'm going to use the label J for Jason, and then right underneath that, I'm going to draw my 7 apples. If you'll notice when I did my drawing, I was really neat. I mean, I did apples, you'll do circles, but I was still really neat. I made sure that I had my 5 group, and then right underneath that, I did the ones that would fill up the rest of the 5 group, because I only had 7. Watch what I do for Lucas. So Lucas had 3 apples, so I'm going to draw him next. I'm going to do an L for Lucas. That will be my label, and I'm going to do his good 3 apples. And then I said Addison had 2 apples, so I'm going to do an A for my label for Addison, and I'll draw my 2 apples for her. Oh, that looks much better than just running them all together. I made it really organized by using those labels. Thanks, labels. All right, now I'm going to write what the number sentence would have been before I found my hidden 10. So I had Jason had 7, Lucas had 3, and Addison had 2. My number sentence would have been 7 plus 3 plus 2. Ugh, that looks like a gigantic number sentence. If you'll notice right there, I made 7 plus 3 purple because I knew by looking at my picture that I'd be looking for a hidden 10. And if I look at my picture, I see that Jason had 7 and Lucas had 3. And if I slid over those apples into Jason's pile, then I would have 10 altogether. So I'm going to go ahead and circle, or in this case, I put a box. I'm going to circle Jason's and Lucas because that's going to be where my 10 comes in. So now if I add Jason and Lucas's together, I'll have 10. And then I see that Addison just has 2 more. My new number sentence is 10 plus 2. That seems a lot less scary than 7 plus 3 plus 2. Good job. Okay, so now I have 10 plus 2. That's my new number sentence. I just have to add those together. I can count on starting at 10. 10, 11, 12. That means altogether the kids have 12 apples. Awesome. Wow, labeling and being organized is really helping me out today in math. Let's try another one. Hannah had 3 coins. Aiden had 6 coins. Bella had 4 coins. How many coins do the kids have in all? All right, I know that was really important on my last problem to label, so I'm going to do it again. So the first sentence said, Hannah had 3 coins. I'm going to need to show that in my drawing. So I'm going to do Hannah and her 3 coins. Look, I use an H to label it. The next sentence says, Aiden has 6 coins. I'm going to need to show that in my drawing, so I'm going to do an A for Aiden, and I'm going to draw my 6 coins. Notice again how once I filled up my 5 group, I went to a new row, and so it was very organized. The next sentence says, Bella had 4 coins. I'm going to go ahead and write a B for my label for Bella and do her 4 coins. I want to think about what this number sentence would be if I didn't find a 10. Let's see, Hannah had 3, Aiden had 6, and Bella had 4. So my number sentence would be 3 plus 6 plus 4. Well, I know, finding a 10 is really going to help me out. So I'm going to look to see which one of these I could add together to make a 10. Which one? Oh, I see it. Do you see it? Which one is it? Yeah, if I have all of Aiden's coin and all of Bella's coins and I put those together, that's going to make my good group of 10. I'm going to go ahead and circle that now. There we go. You'll notice in my number sentence of 3 that I made 6 and plus 4 a different color just to help you out to find that group of 10. Now I need to rewrite my number sentence so I show that I'm adding a group of 10 and then whatever is left over with Hannah's that I didn't need to make my 10. So I'm going to say 10 plus 3 because I have the 10 from Aiden and Bella plus the 3 more from Hannah. Yeah, that's a cooler number sentence than 3 plus 6 plus 4. Ugh. 10 plus 3, I'm going to go ahead and count on 10, 11, 12, 13. Altogether, the kids had 13 coins. Friends, we are doing amazing. Go ahead and give yourself a pat on the back. Nice job. All right. My learning goal for today was to say, I can find a 10 to help add 3 numbers. There are 2 important things I need to make sure I do. I need to make sure that I label the information. When I do my drawings and show my good thinking, I want to make sure that I have labels to keep myself organized. Then I want to find my 10 and rewrite that number sentence. Make sure that you're circling that good 10 so that you can see it clearly in your thinking. All right, it's your turn. For this problem, you're going to either solve it on a dry erase board or you're going to do it in your math journal. You have a choice. Do whatever your teacher would like you to do would probably be the best. But either way, we're going to be taking a seesaw picture of it. So right now, if you don't have a dry erase board or you don't have your math notebook, press pause and go find it. And when you're ready, press play and I'll read the word problem to you. Okay, I hope you have your dry erase board all ready or your math journal. Here we go. Mrs. Marzullo wants to know how many pencils to buy at Target. Claire, that's her daughter, Claire needs 8 pencils. Her son Bennett needs 2 pencils, and Mrs. Marzullo needs 4 pencils. How many pencils should she buy? I'm going to go ahead and read that again. Mrs. Marzullo wants to know how many pencils to buy at Target. Claire needs 8 pencils, Bennett needs 2 pencils, and Mrs. Marzullo needs 4 pencils. How many pencils should she buy? I'm not going to help you out with too much of this problem, friends, but I am going to help you with the labels because they're very important to help keep us organized. I know we talked about Claire, Bennett, and Mrs. Marzullo, so I'm going to put a C for Claire, a B for Bennett, and an M for Mrs. Marzullo. And I'm going to want to make sure that I make my drawings right underneath those very organized so I can clearly see how much each person has. I want you to go ahead and you can press pause right now and do it before you move on to the next part to make sure you have all the pieces. Go ahead. Claire had 8 pencils or needs 8 pencils. Bennett needs 2 and Mrs. Marzullo needs 4. Go ahead and do your drawing and press pause. And when you're done, press play. Okay, hopefully you've done your nice drawing. Now we're going to go ahead and talk about what else you need to have on your in your answer. You need to write a number sentence adding the ones that Claire needed, Bennett needed, and Mrs. Marzullo needed. So you should have a number sentence that has 3 numbers we're adding together. You can go ahead and press pause and do that now, and press play when you're ready. All right, do you have that tricky number sentence where we're adding 3? Now we want to make sure that we're circling a group that's going to make a 10. You're going to circle your group of 10 and then write a new number sentence that says 10 plus, and then we'll know how many pencils we have all together. Friends, you're going to finish this problem, making sure that you circle your group of 10 and writing that good number sentence with your 10 plus. Then I want you to seesaw a picture of your good work to your teacher. Good luck!